Hey guys, Mark Holmes here in the kitchen. That's right, I'm in the kitchen. There's nothing more manly than being in here and throwing down on some steak and cheese and some chicken wings. And we need some extra mojo tonight because I don't care about whether or not Jason Garrett gets fired, at this moment. Only thing I care about is whipping some Eagles ass. I'm sick and tired of people saying that, Cowboy fans are getting off the bandwagon. They're jumping off the ship and everything else. I'm loud, I'm proud, I'm supporting my team, and I'm talking trash. And if we lose tonight, guess what? I'll be right here to take the abuse. Because you know what? I'm going to laugh at you damn Eagle fans because you son of a bitches, excuse my language, but you son of a bitches have not been here all season since your stuff went south. So don't be coming in here tonight if you guys get a win, if you have not been in here the whole time. Because you, my friends, by definition, are a bandwagon fan. You only show up when times are good. And being in the Cowboys, of course, hey, it doesn't get any better than that because we're America's team. And another person over here who's not running and hiding, my buddy John. You see what he's got on? He's wearing his Dallas Cowboy colors. Now that I got that out of the way, and I want to see you punks, and I mean you punks, coming here talking some trash if you guys win tonight. John, I don't know if you've been busy today or, if you've been out of the loop and stuff. Word is that Scott Linehan almost got fired during a bye week.
I heard he almost got fired twice.
In the offseason, okay, I'm going to ask you, if you had thoughts that maybe he wasn't the guy, right?
Yeah.
In the offseason, why the hell did you go ahead and say you picked the coaches?
Maybe because you might be setting them up for failure. Possibly.
Hang on.
Maybe. Now, obviously, the allegiance between Scott Linehan and this team is his relationship with Jason Garrett. So maybe Jason Garrett is the one that went out on a limb for him. They went and traded for Amari Cooper. They may tell us different, but somebody's ass is on the hot seat right now.
Oh, I think, okay. If by chance the Eagles kick our ass in our offense and stuff, I think Linehan's gone tomorrow. You don't let out all this information, including, if he was on the hot seat during the offseason, who leaked that out today?
That's a very
There's no reason to leak that out today. In fact, why is all this stuff being leaked out on game day?
Well, that's just the Cowboy way. Things just leak out of the locker room all of the time. That's one of the things that I've always had an issue with is that nothing stays in house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know we are America's team. I know that we're the most famous team. I know that we're the biggest brand in sports. But for a football team, now you've been on football teams. You've been in the locker rooms.
What happens in the locker room is like in Vegas.
Exactly.
It stays in the locker room.
But year after year after year, things just get leaked.
Regardless of that, you're Dak Prescott, you're Zeke Elliott, you're the offensive lineman and stuff. How do you respond today? Because you know that these guys are on the hot seat. Do you kind of roll over and do what I used to call the lookout block? You know what lookout block is, right?
Yeah. Look out!
Yeah, that's when the ball. Yeah, look out! You just let the guy go and let that guy just get this clock clean. Do you play full effort trying to save your coach, or do you just kind of say, you know what, this horse don't run?
At the end of the day, they've been playing. That's one thing I will give them. They've been giving us all that they got. They've been giving us effort. I think they've been doing that anyway, and everybody else can see that we're just incompetent when it comes to coaching or coming up with game plan.
All right, okay, another question for you, because this has been on my mind. Troy Aikman says we need to just rip this shit up and start all over. But I'm going to say this much. But before we do that, I look at how many first-round players that we have gotten that have become Pro Bowlers. Okay. We've gotten some talent. You can't argue with getting. Travis Frederick, of course, has that syndrome. Nobody knew about that. But he never missed a game. He was a Pro Bowler every year. You look at Tyron Smith, although he's getting old and breaking down. But you look at the drafts and the talent this team has brought. I think we've had more talent than most teams have. We have gotten talent on the field. Mm-hmm. The problem to me is what we do with it. Am I wrong on that?
Well, you got to keep this in mind. It's more to just acquiring talent. You also have to acquire talent from the coaching aspect as well. Yeah. And part of that, what's happening in the locker room, that's on your watch. So that counts. If this Amari Cooper thing falls through and we have a bad season and we gave up that pick, that's on your watch. That
Well,
counts.
true. That counts. But see, to me, here's the thing. We're killing the Cowboys right now, but I look at it like this. If instead of wasting the clock against the Redskins, let's say in that 1 minute that we had in there that we only ran 2 plays and had a timeout, what if we had tried to score and we scored a touchdown and won that game? Or what if we had at least...
Then your coaches get credit for that. They get credit for that.
Let's just take that game. Let's say somehow we ended up making a couple plays and we win that game, right? Let's say the Texans game, instead of trying that field goal, we try and get a little closer, and instead of punting the ball, we end up trying to kick a field goal. We try and end up getting. What if we won those? If we won those 2 games, it would be a totally different. So we're not talking about a whole lot of plays different. Am I wrong?
No, we're not. But at the same time, those plays that you just mentioned are what it takes to be a good coach, making decisions when things are in pressure situations.
Right. Now, which goes back to my original thing with Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman says, you need to just blow it all up and do a complete reorganization. That means get Jerry Jones to stop being the GM. That means get rid of Will McClay. That means get rid of all the coaches. He's saying just tear the shit up and start over, but I'm not sure if that's...
I agree.
Well, you know Jerry.
I'll tell you why I agree.
I will at least say this much, that I think if you have a coach who is actually allowed to coach and bring in his system, I'm okay with the talent that they bring in. Yeah, I'm okay with Will McClay and that staff being able to evaluate talent, because I think a lot of times they bring in talent and they're not being, or they say, this is what we'd like to do for the team, and I think it just gets blown by.
Well, it's not the talent that I have a problem with. It's the culture. We don't have a winning culture.
Oh,
that's what I think Troy Aikman meant by overhauling everything. Like, how comfortable do you have to be? Now, I know we had in our group chat, we talked about it, and I don't believe Jason Garrett going to the World Series had anything to do with us losing the game. But how comfortable do you have to be to do that? How comfortable at your job?
And that's the problem.
Exactly.
And
So that's what I think Troy Aikman
and there's a great point to that, because you always get, to me, you're always auditioning for the job.
Absolutely.
Okay, players, you may see a 6-year contract, but it's a 1-year deal every year. And we can cut your ass and let you go. You may get a chunk of change extra for another year or 2, but we can let you go in a year. But Jason Garrett has never had that whole thing that I'm playing for my job type thing, because Jerry Jones, he even said this year, I don't care, he said Jason makes mistakes, but, we're comfortable. What?
Exactly. How can you be comfortable? How can you be comfortable with what's going on right now? You're comfortable with this, then everything Troy Aikman said is absolutely right.
Maybe
so that's what I agree with Troy. Now, I remember seeing a clip earlier this week where Barry Switzer wasn't doing something, and Troy Aikman absolutely cussed his lineman out.
Troy Aikman did not like Switzer, because Switzer was just kind of like whatever, let everybody kind of get away with stuff. And Troy's like, no, you need to get people's ass.
That we're not holding people accountable. Where is the accountability in this culture? It's not just the coach. When you got guys like Jerry backing these guys, clearly backing these guys.
And when players mess up on the field, it's like there's no repercussions. Remember when Randy Gregory ended up having that stupid foul that cost us 3 points going to halftime? Pushed the guy in the back of the head with the official 2 feet behind him, and he walks off the sideline, oh well, whatever. And Jason Garrett's just kind of mumbling to himself. So I get that point too, but I think that goes back to the coach, and I don't know if he is cut off at the knees because of Jerry Jones.
Again, that's where it goes into overhauling everything, because Jerry is allowing that.
Yeah.
If you're cutting your coach off at the knees, that means you're the issue. Who wants to come in here and coach this team if you're going to cut them off at the knees?
But I'm gonna be devil's advocate here. Okay. I will say this much at least. What at least gives me some hope is they realize they screwed up on some things. Okay? They realize we screwed up with Dez Bryant. And regardless of what you guys say, I'm telling you, Dez Bryant was set to come in and do a workout again. Because when Dez was talking about, I'm going to be signing soon, and everything else, he was scheduled to come in and get a workout. But the Cowboys kind of said, you know what? You're still on social media too much. Thanks, but no thanks. they realized they made that mistake. They realized that bringing in Paul Alexander, Mr. Ketchup Bottle, why are we doing ketchup tests? Everybody got squeeze bottles of ketchup now. Seriously. That they realized he needed to go. And I think now that we're hearing the Scott Linehan part, that they realized, okay, we've screwed up. We got to admit that we made some faults.
Oh, everything in the offseason we've done.
So maybe this is the beginning of the end of Jason Garrett.
Possibly. And you know what? As a Cowboy fan, I hate to say it, and I know you got killed for it, but this is what has to happen if we want a new coach.
I said that,
this is what has to happen.
Because this is identical to where we were last year about this time of year. And the thing is okay, we saw Tampa Bay 480 yards with 3 points today. Our last 4 games, we have the Eagles, and the Eagles are beat up. And the Eagles they're only a game ahead of us, so they're not like world beater. But you got the Eagles, you got Tampa Bay, you got the Giants, you got the Colts. You could win 3 or 4 of those games to finish the season, and all of a sudden they say, oh, well, they turned it around. It just took time to get those new pieces together.
And for me, that's just not good enough because we say that every year. So,
yeah.
I mean, how many times are we going to say, if this happens, if this happens? Like, hypotheticals, they don't win you games. And being that close is only good at horseshoes.
And hand grenades.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get some steak and cheeses cooked up in here. We got about 3 hours before the game, so we got some more talking to do. My man E2 Blues coming over as well. My friend Daniel's coming over. I'm bringing another friend. Veteran. You're a vet too, right?
I'm not a vet.
Oh, no, you're not a vet. No. Daniel's a vet, along with he's bringing a major.
Nice.
But no, not that. He's an Eagle fan.
Well, that's fine, though, because when was the last time I had an Eagles fan in the man cave?
And the Giant fan is here. The stinking New York Giant fan. So at least we got somebody we can beat up on. All right, so we'll see you guys down in the man cave.